you can never have too much lube. And you should always have a code word that, you know, means stop if something is going wrong or don't want to do it or it hurts or what. I love the 70s. You know, I can wear high heels and, you know, and dress androgynous, you know. I'm not going to talk. That's what they want anyway, so I might as well show it. That's what makes me different. How did I learn about sexuality? Well, by trying it out wherever I could. For me, as a transgender woman, it's like my role models were all prostitutes. You know, I mean, everybody transgender that I knew was in the sex trade. I was doing okay selling my wares, my talents. The sex is free. It's just my charming personality and company that's expensive. That's what I used to say all the time, especially if I thought I was undercover. Lately, all the guys that pick me up don't know I'm transgender, and, you know, of course, for me, you know, it's always, I'm so open that I'm, you know, would like to give back, and hey, I give awesome blowjobs, you know. But, you know, and then they might want more, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what's this? Oops. That can be an awkward situation. I usually try to make sure they do know. They still slow down and stare to the way she walks. Wicked legs and 5-inch heels, skin-tight slacks with a flare. Nice ass. Not what it was, but can still do a number and put to shame many gals half her age. Not bad for an old queen holding on 39. Pull out the camp, this bitch still can dance, and play a mean mouth organ any time to enhance a wanting man's romance. If only he'll open his wallet, then loosen his pants. I'd had some pretty extreme sex, you know, a couple of nights, and things were, you know, I was feeling a little bit of pain in there, and so I was going in for an ultrasound. Yeah, apparently it's, you know, she was saying it's maybe not as uncommon as one might think. You know, for me, it's just like, I was already Antonette, and I had been, and it was just like, maybe there's this, it's not just a head thing, there's, you know, there's a biological component to this whole transgender. It's not really anything different. I played around with it a lot, and a lot of that is just to blow people's minds. I can remember this couple downtown, and I guess they had a few to drink, they're pretty young, and they're coming across the street, and the guy, you know, throws a derogatory comment at me, and I come back with something about being intersex, you know, and, oh yeah, what's that, you know, and then when I finished telling them, you know, and the couple there, they asked me if I, do I take plastic? They want to take me home now. My harmonica. Oh yeah, I pull it out all the time to keep me company. And, you know, sometimes I play it on the stroll. I'd be sitting there, and I'd pick up a date. I heard this harmonica, and I followed it. Yeah, I suppose I suffered a little bit. You know, I tried to keep, you know, some humor about it to counteract all the, you know, sick humor that was being perpetrated on me by, you know, the police, by, you know, everybody else in town. I mean, you know, I remember having holes in my door you could walk through, and they wouldn't fix it because they were, you know, they didn't want this tranny in their building. And I got threatened with my life. I got false, you know, assault charges. I got beat on the head with fucking steel pipes just to go and make some more money, you know, because I was sick and couldn't bring in enough, you know, of guest fees. The sex trade on the street is mixed with drugs, and that comes into play, and addiction, and you know, if you've got an addiction problem, usually there's something more hiding, whether it's a trauma, whether it's an abuse issue, or whether it's, you know, the ridicule from being different. And so you're getting the most vulnerable people not able to access the help, even if they wanted to, because of the environment. They don't, you know, you can't hang on to your ID. Everybody's stealing it or whatever. You can't. Your world shrinks, and you can spend years living within the same 10-block radius, because that's where you know where to go to get your dope. When you're getting off the dope, yeah, you got these nightmares and things about, it seems like all this shit's coming out, and some of it's way back. You didn't even know it existed, you know, and it's hit you. I poured myself into my writing, and I used that to fill that void that was left, because to get off dope, I had to stop sex altogether because they were so closely linked. You know, if there's a fire alarm going, what do? I grab my poetry, and that's the most valuable thing. That is my soul, that was my heart, that was the most important thing. It kept me company. It was like the only friend I really had.
Insecurities increase with daily verbal abuse and death threats, all because of the way I dress. Aging tranny bitch queen with
A lot of the stuff was pretty dark. That's something, you know, that you're going, what the hell? Who wants to read about all this shit? You know, but it is gratifying when you have individuals come up and, you know, tell you that their brother is like you back east, and I've learned so much from listening to your poetry. Thank you. I just had to tell you.
I've lost that protective crust created with drugs, come fuck me outfits and attitudes with painted faces of money-making whore lust.
I'm getting older now, and, you know, I wish I looked after my teeth better and I didn't forget my lower dentures. I don't feel as sexy as I once did, you know, with my gorgeous legs and beautiful ass, but, you know. Now I'm getting older and toning things down. It's not such a big part of my life anymore. That's kind of what I want to reflect in my writing, is this journey of, you know, coming to terms with yourself, and not just the transition, but aging. And it's becoming comfortable with being me as Antonette. I'm finally, because I have a nice place to live, it's taken a long time where, you know, I'm at home alone, and it's like, God, and it's okay. You know, I'm okay. You know, like, and you could feel comfortable. And sure, I still have a little hope of maybe finding somebody, but, you know, that's okay, you know, if I don't.
I was telling another old-time working girl that I had retired from the business. Shocked, she replied, "How will you ever survive?" I had thought about doing the senior circuit as a sexual stress release therapist. I'd offer 10% seniors discounts with free Viagra. But alas, I'm holding out for a real relationship. So I've recently laid to rest that street-surviving, high-heeled, tranny whore character I used to project. I suppose, in a way, I mourn the loss of yet another, closer than a sister, dear friend. Ah, the memories we share. As I turn another new leaf. Oh yes, I am a woman with a past.